Using online Czech records, the Litoměřice Regional Archives. My objective today is to help you become familiar with navigating the website of the Litoměřice Regional Archives so that you can find the records of your ancestors. And please excuse my pronunciations. This map shows the areas covered by each of the Czech Regional Archives. Today we'll be focusing on the Litoměřice Regional Archive, which is the northernmost archive area in light blue. If you're unsure of which archive to search in, you may want to take a look at a free online gazetteer such as the one at genteam.at, where you can type in the name of a town and it will tell you which regional archive holds the records for that town. Now let's go take a look at the Litoměřice Regional Archive website. Here at the archive website, you can start by clicking on the flag in the upper right-hand corner to select the language, either English, Czech, or German. And here you can see the search bar where you can type in the name of the town that you're searching for records in. For towns that have had name changes in the past, you can either type in the old German spelling of the town name or the current Czech town name. Either one should work. And also, it's not necessary to include diacritic marks for these searches. A search will include all types of record collections, and you can narrow down your search results by using this menu over here on the right-hand side of the page. Here at the top, you can decide whether you want to view all the records that are available or only the ones with digitized images attached to them. Here you can take a look at collections of several different record types, including land records, censuses, and address books, which we know as city directories. So definitely worth taking a look to see which types of record collections are available for the specific town that you're searching in. You can also narrow your search by the holdings of the smaller district archives located within the area of the regional archive. You can also narrow your search by a specific time range, so this can be very helpful. And this bottom section has more features specifically for when you're searching through the Parish Register books. Speaking of that, one thing that you may find helpful if you're focusing only on vital records, mainly birth, marriage, and death records, you could click this link here on the main website that will take you directly to just focus your search on those birth, marriage, and death records. So let's go and search for a town. Type it up in the search bar at the top and hit search. And you can see over here that it has focused our search just on the vital records. Here on this side it tells you how many Parish Register books we have found that contain records for the town of Litoměřice. And over here we see the word Matriky and this tree, and that's just the symbol for the collection of vital records. And each of these boxes here refers to a specific Parish Register book. Let me explain to you what we can see here. Each record has some combination of the letters N, O, and Z. N refers to birth records, O refers to marriage records, and Z refers to death records. And also, if we scroll down, the other thing that you'll see sometimes is I. See, for example, this book has birth, marriage, and death records, and it has an index for the birth, index for the marriage, and index for the death records. And now that we know the type of records that are included in the book, we can look further and see this SIG, which stands for signature, with a number following it. And this number is just the number that has been assigned kind of as the title of the register book in the archive. So you want to take note of that number so that you can come back and find that book again later. And then it tells you a date range, and then it will tell you the town or towns for which records are included in that book. A couple of other things to note on this main page are these icons here. If you take a look at the little paperclip icon, when you hover over it, it will show this picture, and if you hold your mouse over the picture, it will show you how many digital scans there are. So this Parish Register book consists of 51 images. And just so you know, this shopping cart symbol here, that's only if you're wanting to go to the archive in person and view books that have not yet been digitized. So don't have to worry about that. So now that you've found this list of search results, you can scroll through and take a look and try to find which book might contain the record of the person that you're looking for by looking at the dates and the towns. Another option is to use this menu over on the right-hand side again to narrow down your search results. It's very useful to use this time range feature to narrow it down to the correct dates. Or you could use this box here at the bottom. There are several different options, but the ones that I've found myself using the most are the location, so you can type in the name of the town here. The signature is this number here that is assigned to each book. That's helpful if you've been researching and then you come back on another day and want to go back to a book that you already know. You type that book number here under signature and it'll take you directly back to the same book. Here you can see that there are two different categories that both say type, at least when it's translated to English. So you can take a look at the drop-down menu. This one allows you to narrow it down by the type of records, birth, marriage, and death records, and the indexes for those records. And this one allows you to narrow it down by which religion created the record, or civic or military records. So these can be really helpful to narrow down the date range and the type of records to figure out which book you should start searching in. Each Parish Register book has a page with more details about that specific book. You can click anywhere on the description of the book and it'll take you to that page. And here we can see a little more information about the book. This shows us the parish where this book originated, the signature or the number of the book, the inventory number, the fact that it's a Catholic record book, and the time span. And it's always worth taking a look at any notes that may be listed. We know that the time span of this book is from 1784 to 1837. And if we take a look at this note, we can see that the marriage and death records both follow that time span. But it says here that the birth records only go from 1784 to 1811 in this book. So that's really useful to know. There may also be other notes. For example, this one here tells a little bit about the history of the parish. For some reason, even though we have the language selected as English for the website, certain sections of the website don't translate and are in Czech. But if you're interested in seeing what they mean, you can always copy and paste the note into Google Translate. And down here it will list the towns contained in this book, and it may also include different spelling variations for the names of those towns. Now to go and look at the scanned pages of the book, you can just click here. Now I'll show you how to navigate through a book. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see these thumbnails, and you can scroll up and down through them with your mouse. You can also click on one of the thumbnails and it will show it here in the center of the screen. Another way to go back and forth through the pages is with these arrows here at the top. You can click the far right arrow to go to the last page of the book, or the far left arrow to go back to the first page of the book. You can also use this arrow to go forward one page at a time, or this arrow to go backwards one page at a time. When you scroll down through these thumbnails, you may notice that after a while it stops allowing you to scroll further, but it's not at the last image of the book. This is because it only shows you 25 thumbnails at a time, and to go to the next set of 25 images, you would click this arrow here. And now you can continue scrolling down. Or you can go backwards by 25 with this arrow here. Another way to move through the pages is to use this drop-down arrow and select the image number that you want to go to. And if it were a really long book with hundreds of pages and you'd rather not scroll all the way down and find the exact image number, and you knew which one you were looking for, you could use your keyboard to type it in. So I'm going to type 75 and then enter, and that will also take you directly to that image. And now I'm going to show you how to change the view of the image so that you can better read what's written on the page. Down here you can zoom in and out by clicking on the magnifying glass. You can also use these arrows here at the bottom to move the page left, right, up, or down. Also, if you use the arrows on your keyboard, it will do the same thing. Once in a while, you'll find a book that has a note that is written sideways, and it would be helpful to turn a page. So you have the ability to do so here. This X here will take it back out to the original view, and these arrows will bring the image to the full screen on your computer. And you can click the escape key on your keyboard to go back to the main screen. You can also see this smaller image in the upper right corner of the screen. It's showing us what we're seeing here, just in a smaller version. If we were to zoom in, then you notice on the smaller image up here, it's got this red outline, and that's showing us which area of the image that we are looking at on the screen right now. And so if we move up and down the page, you can see that red box is moving. Another way is you can actually click on this image and it will bring the red box to wherever you are. So this is really helpful if you're searching one page at a time, reading through the records, trying to find the name of an ancestor, to be able to glance up there quickly and make sure that you're not missing a record at the bottom of the page or something without having to zoom in and out on every single page to see that. Sometimes when you are looking through page by page to try to find an individual in the records, you find yourself zooming in and looking at each of the records and then moving to the next page, and it automatically zooms back out and you have to zoom back in. You find that if you're looking at a lot of pages, that this just adds extra steps of zooming in and out every single time. So one way to avoid that is to zoom in to your desired zoom depth and then click this icon that looks like an open eye, and it will save this zoom depth. And now when you move to a new page, it will automatically open up the new page at that same zoom depth on every page that you open. And when you're ready to go back out to the normal full screen view, you can click this icon that looks like an eye with a slash through it and click OK, and then it goes back to normal. So that's just a nice little time-saving tip. Sometimes you'll find that it will be useful to save a link to the page so that you can come back and visit it later or share it with someone else, or to save a copy of the image to your computer. The best way to save the link is to go here, where it says Direct Link to Scan. Click on that, and you can copy and paste that link into another document and save it. You do not want to go up here to the top of your web browser and save the link, because it won't necessarily bring you back to this image. It may bring you back to the first page of this book, but if you want to have a link that will bring you right back to this same page, you want to go here to save that link. And if you would like to save a copy of the image to your computer, you can click here where it says Save. You'll need to type in the code from the image and click Save, and it will download that copy and save it on your computer. And when you save it in this way, it creates a good high-resolution copy of the image, so you can really zoom in and see all the details. All right, well, to review, you should now be able to use the Litoměřice Regional Archive website to find the digital records for your ancestors.